Nelson Mandela lecture in a short while. And just as I was asking earlier, what would your message be now when Mandela is being both celebrated but also his legacy is being reviewed?
It's always good to review the legacy of everybody, but we live his legacy. Every time we vote as equals, every time we go to court to demand our rights, every time we go out into the streets to say we are human beings, we have rights, we are people, we are living the legacy of Mandela, because that's what he did. He didn't create our freedom, but he embodied the urge for freedom of millions and millions of people in our country. And he was brave, he was personally brave. On Robben Island, when he saw a guard beating up one of the prisoners, he intervened. He risked his life and his freedom to intervene to save one of his comrades from being beaten up in that way. When he came to Parliament, he was showing a composure, a dignity, a forcefulness, a compassion. He represented us and what we were striving for and our hopes better than anybody else had done. He didn't replace what we wanted. He dignified it, and he presented us to ourselves and to the world with very, very special allure, with brilliance, with humor and with compassion. To say that somehow he let us down is letting him down and letting ourselves down. It's erasing a beautiful and brilliant part of our history. Did he have faults? Yes, he did. Did he achieve freedom for everybody in South Africa in the economic sphere? No, he didn't. Did he claim to do that? No. What he said was, we've won our freedom to become free. We'd opened the doors to achieving freedom, and that's what we've got to build on.
So do you agree with what former presidents today were saying, that he gave us political freedom, but economic freedom was always going to come later? The baton had to be passed on. He couldn't do it all.
He didn't give us political freedom. He was at the head of our struggle to get political freedom. And it's going to be our struggle to get economic freedom that will achieve the new Mandelas in our society. It's ridiculous to imagine one person on his own was the father of the nation who gave us the gift of freedom. He didn't do that. He just gave us a beautiful presence, a voice, a symbol, an icon, if you like, of the struggle of millions. And it's going to be the struggle of millions that's going to achieve the next phase of our liberation, which will be economic freedom, real lived rights for everybody in every sphere of life.
Some are saying, maybe there should have been a wealth tax. Maybe we should have been harder on businesses that wanted to operate in South Africa. You were part of the struggle. You survived a bomb attack. You were part of the constitutional drafting process. Looking back, was there a sense that everything that could have been done had been done? There was nothing left out, as people are suggesting today?
Well, one of the things that I regretted is during negotiations we introduced the notion of the Reconstruction and Development Program. And it had meaning for ordinary people. And I think it was a mistake to abandon the RDP. But people did so with honest motives, hoping to get employment, the economy booming. It didn't work in that way. I think maybe that was a mistake. And probably we made many other mistakes along the way. But we did achieve something quite magnificent. It's in our Constitution. It's in the potential the Constitution gives us. We've had 5 free and fair elections in a continent where people said, black people, they're not ready for democracy. They want their tribal leaders. We proved them absolutely, absolutely wrong. We have some of the greatest judges in the whole world. The decisions of the Constitutional Court are admired throughout the world, and they are decisions of great meaning to ordinary people. When you find somebody like Malema saying, I'm not scared of X or Y or Z, the only thing I'm scared of is the Constitution, it's because of the prowess of that court. And the prowess of that court comes so much from the very manner in which Nelson Mandela himself accepted when the court overruled and declared unconstitutional some proclamations of his. He said, I, as president, must be the first to accept the rulings of the Constitutional Court interpreting our Constitution. And he emerged with greater prestige, not as somebody who'd been defeated by those bourgeois reactionary judges, but as somebody who'd been held to account under the Constitution that he'd helped to create. And that's made it possible now for the court to function in other matters of great sensitivity, of great importance for our country, upholding all the rights and freedoms that he was fighting for.
Maybe some of the values that informed that constitution being undermined: reconciliation, non-racialism, justice, equality. We're asking our viewers, and I'd like to ask your opinion, do you think Madiba would be happy with the South Africa of today?
He would be happier that there is a South Africa today that has a constitution, that has freedom of speech, that you on SABC can ask me that very question, that you're not scared to do so. He'd be very happy with that. He would be happy that South Africans speak their mind. He would be happy with the wonderful music I've just been hearing of Hugh Masekela in the background. He would be happy with the vitality of South African people, with the willingness of the youth to even sacrifice often their careers at university and elsewhere in pursuit of their ideals. He'd be happy with that. He would not be happy with state capture. He would not be happy with corruption. He would not be happy with people using falsehoods to get ahead. He would not be happy with people internationally claiming that facts are fake news. But I think he would be happy that we have a country, South Africa, that is democratic, that does hold its leaders to account, where people in that sense feel free to demand the next phase of transformation.
All right, thank you. We appreciate your time. Former Constitutional Court judge and freedom fighter Albie Sachs, who will be in a short while delivering the Nelson Mandela lecture at the Robben Island Museum. Well, today's celebrations in Mvezo in the Eastern Cape included a lot of music. Here's some Piwe Dana to take us to the break.
We visit all the best spots for